In Spain, Prime Minister Pedro Sánchez has announced a plan to ban social media for youth under the age of 16. He says it's necessary to protect children from what he called a digital Wild West. The proposal has sparked criticism abroad and mixed responses at home.
14-year-old Daniel is not thrilled at the prospect of being banned from scrolling.
I use social media for many things, such as recipes, projects, entertainment, or talking to friends. And without social media, it would be quite a big change, to be honest.
But that big change may be underway in Spain, where access to social media could be banned for under 16s. Speaking at a summit in Dubai, Prime Minister Pedro Sánchez said Spain had joined 5 other European countries to enforce cross-border regulation.
Today, our children are exposed to a space they were never meant to navigate alone. A space of addiction, abuse, pornography, manipulation, violence. We will no longer accept that. We will protect them from the digital Wild West.
Sánchez said social media executives would be held responsible for hate speech on their platforms. Prosecutors would also seek to investigate possible legal infractions by TikTok, Instagram, and Elon Musk's chatbot, Grok. The announcements angered Musk, who called Sánchez a tyrant and traitor to the people of Spain. On the streets of Madrid, adults reacted positively to the proposed ban.
Well, I don't generally like bans, but I understand that this measure is necessary because I believe that children under the age of 16 are not yet capable of dealing with something as big as social media.
I think it's fine. It's good to encourage children to play with each other and not to be on their mobile phones in parks, which I think is terrible, to be honest.
Generations are divided, but as the idea of social media bans gain traction, teenagers might not be the most outraged.
Now let's go to Spain to talk about this with Alana Moceri, an international relations professor at IE University in Madrid. Professor, Spanish Prime Minister Sánchez calls the platform would amplify disinformation. Elon Musk says, quote, Sánchez is the true fascist totalitarian. Whose side are people in Spain on?
Well, in Spain, they see Musk as an outsider. He's not someone who has been terribly empathetic over the last year or so in Spain. And so this is the second time he's insulted Sánchez in the past week, I think, first over migration and now over this. But certainly, you know, that's his interest, and that's been the interest of Silicon Valley, is keeping the internet as wide open as possible. But what they're getting at, and this is also reinforced by EU policy, is getting at these algorithms and also protecting children, which is something that pretty much everyone can agree on. As someone who's in the classroom every day with university students, I see how utterly addicted these kids are to technology. We all are. But setting limits, because most parents are unable to, because it's all their friends on these, you know, on these devices and on the social media, as we hear from this kid in the interview. And so parents need help as well getting this done.
Now, free speech advocates say that regulating social media platforms more tightly comes close to censoring. Do they have a point?
Well, I mean, what it is about and what EU law is about, and I think there's some discrepancy between what Spain can regulate and what the European Union can regulate in the DSA, the Digital Services Act, is certainly hate speech, but also the algorithms. And that's where the real issue is that people have lost their control over their feeds and what you see and what you don't see. You know, it used to be when the social media first started off, you could go onto Facebook and see actually what your friends were using. I mean, Twitter was once upon a time something that you look through and look at past posts. And now, I mean, there's so much content coming at you that you never signed up for. And so the main thing is getting back to the control. And it is very different from in the US, where it basically protects protects the platforms from any responsibility. But in Europe, they're saying, no, you do have responsibility for this content. And these aren't just pipelines for content, because they are actually controlling it through their algorithms.
Now, in the past, there was some reluctance to regulate tech companies. Do you think that sentiment is changing on a bigger scale?
Certainly in Europe. I mean, Europe is where we've seen a lot more regulation, and yes, and seeing countries come together and do this together is important. They're saying, hey, we're gonna lead the way. Getting 16-year-olds off social media is a pretty heavy lift, a pretty big ask. Teens have found ways around it. There's other things that countries, that certainly cities are doing, like banning phones from classrooms. All of these things together need to happen just simply to protect children. I mean, we've all seen, I mean, there's study upon study showing how damaging it's been to their mental health. We have young people who are more anxious than any other time. And so governments definitely have a responsibility towards this. It's not going to be perfect. It certainly hasn't been perfect in Australia, but there needs to be at least some action taken to try to protect people under 16, maybe people under 18. Adults is a different story, and that's where it's pretty much a free for all, and adults are adults, but children is very, very different. I mean, we see children, little kids, parents give them the phone, and I get it, they're exasperated, they maybe need a break. Their kids, all their friends have it, and so that's where we do need some laws to help to protect all children from the damage of social media that is clearly causing many of them.
Alana Moceri there from IE University in Madrid. Thank you very much.
My pleasure.